The morning light falls softly across a quiet room. Everything feels calm, yet Sophie's heart is anything but. Last night changed everything. The closeness, the whispered promises, the unspoken truths, now they linger in the air, heavy and real. She can't ignore it anymore. Today, she must face her feelings, her choices, and the reality of Benedict's presence. Can she find courage? Can she embrace what she truly wants, even if it scares her? Sophie wakes slowly, her eyes adjusting to the soft glow of dawn filtering through the curtains. The room is silent, save for the gentle rustle of silk sheets and the faint clink of a teacup resting on the bedside table. She sits up, running her fingers through her hair, feeling the lingering warmth of the night that was. The world outside the window is moving, unaware of the turmoil inside this small room. Every morning begins with a choice, but today, Sophie knows it will be different. She glances at the other side of the bed, empty now, but the memory of Benedict there lingers. The way he looked at her, so earnest, so vulnerable in a way she rarely sees. Her heart races, but her mind feels heavy. She wonders if what happened was right, if it was what she truly wanted, or if it was a moment of weakness. She touches the pillow, as if searching for an answer, but all she finds is the echo of the night before. The morning light feels sharper now, as though highlighting every detail she can't avoid. Her gown falls softly around her as she moves toward the window. She takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. The city outside is beginning to stir, carriages rolling down cobblestone streets, servants moving about their daily tasks. It is a world that does not pause for personal drama, but inside Sophie, time feels suspended. Every glance, every thought pulls her back to Benedict's laughter. The conversation, the tension that was almost unbearable. She moves to the small writing desk in the corner, her hands hovering over a blank sheet of paper. Maybe if she writes down her thoughts, she can make sense of them. Maybe putting words on paper will help her understand what she feels when she is alone. The pen trembles slightly in her hand as she begins. Last night. Her voice catches even as she whispers to herself. Each word she writes brings back the warmth, the closeness, and the weight of emotions she cannot yet name. She realizes that the morning after is not just a time to wake, it is a time to confront reality, to face the choices she must make, and to see if she is ready to step into the life she wants. The morning stretches on, quiet but heavy. Sophie paces slowly, her slippers brushing the wooden floor as her thoughts swirl like autumn leaves caught in a gust. Every corner of the room seems to hold memories of last night, the laugh that lingered in the air, the subtle brush of a hand, the warmth that lingered even after Benedict left. She pauses by the window, staring out but seeing nothing. Outside, life goes on, but inside, her heart is trapped in a storm she cannot escape. She sinks into a chair by the desk, fingers drumming nervously against the polished surface. Her mind replays every word, every look, every hesitation from last night. Was it love? She whispers, almost afraid of the answer. Her chest tightens, a mix of longing and doubt. The world of manners and expectations presses against her thoughts, what society would say, what her friends might think, but it all feels distant, insignificant compared to the pull she feels toward Benedict. She wants clarity, yet the more she searches for it, the more tangled her emotions become. The room feels smaller now, as if the walls are leaning in to witness her struggle. A letter lies unopened on the desk, the wax seal intact, waiting to deliver truths she is not sure she is ready to face. Her eyes flick to it repeatedly, drawn like a magnet, then looking away in hesitation. She knows she cannot avoid it forever. Her hand hovers above the paper, shaking slightly. I have to know where we stand, she thinks. I have to understand what this means for us, for me, yet fear keeps her frozen. The idea of confronting Benedict, even indirectly, makes her stomach twist. A breeze drifts through the open window, carrying the scent of blooming flowers and city smoke. It is a gentle reminder that life moves forward, that decisions must be made, and that time will not wait for indecision. Sophie closes her eyes, taking a deep, steady breath, feeling the weight of the moment settle onto her shoulders. Her heart races with a mixture of hope and dread. The morning after is no longer just a quiet dawn, it is the beginning of reckoning. A test of courage, and the first step toward a truth she cannot deny any longer. Asterisk, even in silence. Benedict's presence fills the room. Sophie can feel it without seeing him directly. A coat draped over a chair, a shadow falling across the floor, the faint echo of his footsteps in the hall, small signs that he is near, yet not imposing, allowing her space while still being there. It is in these subtle moments that her heart stirs, conflicted between desire and hesitation. She wants to turn to face him, but something inside tells her to pause. To savor this fragile balance between closeness and distance, Sophie moves toward the window again, her reflection staring back at her from the glass. She notices the tension in her shoulders, the way her hands tremble ever so slightly. Outside, the city hums with life, but inside, time seems suspended. Benedict's silence speaks volumes. It tells her he is patient, understanding, waiting for her to speak her truth. She imagines his expression, the gentle concern she glimpsed last night, and a shiver runs down her spine. It is intoxicating and terrifying at the same time. Her gaze drifts toward the desk where the unopened letter lies. She imagines Benedict's hand reaching out, hesitating over it, uncertain, just like hers. The thought of him waiting, of him giving her the space to decide, makes her chest tighten. She wants to reach out, to break the distance between them, yet the weight of consequences holds her back. Every quiet sound, the rustle of silk, the creak of the floorboard feels amplified, charged with unspoken emotion. Even the morning light seems to bend toward him, casting long, delicate shadows that connect them without words. As Sophie takes a cautious step toward the letter, she senses a shift in the room, subtle yet undeniable. Benedict's presence is no longer just around her, it is intertwined with her thoughts, her fears, her longing. The quiet tension between them is palpable, a delicate thread connecting two hearts hesitant but unwilling to let go. In this space, the morning after transforms from a simple beginning to a test of patience, courage, and honesty. Sophie realizes that before any words are spoken, before decisions are made, the real challenge is acknowledging what has already changed inside her and recognizing that Benedict feels it too. Even in silence, the room feels charged now, as if the air itself is holding its breath. Sophie stands by the window, hands clasped tightly in front of her, feeling the morning sun warm her skin, but not her heart. Everything she thought she understood about herself and Benedict shifts with each passing second. The quiet presence of Benedict nearby is no longer subtle, it is a gentle pressure, a reminder that choices cannot be delayed forever. She can feel it in the way the light catches the curve of his coat, the faint echo of movement in the hallway, the soft creak of the floorboards as he shifts his weight. Every sound, every shadow speaks to her. Her fingers brush against the letter on the desk. For a moment, she hesitates, the weight of words unsaid pressing down on her. She knows that opening it could change everything, that one choice, one action, could alter the course of their connection. Her heart pounds, a chaotic rhythm that mirrors the storm inside her mind. She recalls the night before, not just the passion, but the laughter, the tenderness, the shared vulnerability. Benedict had shown her a side of himself few people ever see, and she realizes she cannot ignore what that means. Sophie finally lifts the letter, trembling, yet with a growing determination. As she reads, her eyes soften, her lips part in a quiet sigh, and a tiny smile tugs at the corner of her mouth. She turns slowly, feeling Benedict's presence as a solid, grounding force behind her. No words are needed. The look of understanding she imagines in him is enough to steady her racing heart. In that moment, she understands that the morning after is not about regret or doubt, it is about clarity. She sees what she truly wants, and she is ready to embrace it, even if it scares her. The morning sun streams fully into the room now, bright and warm, illuminating the space around them. Shadows shrink and merge, and for the first time, Sophie feels the pull of certainty rather than hesitation. The tension between them softens, replaced by a quiet understanding, an unspoken promise that the world outside will wait while they navigate what matters most. The morning after is no longer just a fragile moment, it is the start of a choice made from the heart. the first step toward honesty, courage, and love. Sophie turns fully toward Benedict, ready to meet his gaze, ready to face whatever comes next. In silence, they both know nothing will ever be the same again. The room holds a quiet electricity now, as though the walls themselves are listening. Sophie moves slowly across the floor, each step deliberate, careful, as if breaking the stillness might shatter everything. Her gaze keeps drifting to the corner where Benedict's coat hangs, the soft folds of fabric reminding her that he is near, that his presence is constant even in quiet moments. She feels the pull of his closeness, a mix of comfort and fear, and realizes that silence can be louder than words. Sophie stops by the writing desk, her fingers tracing the edge of the letter one last time. She exhales slowly, letting the tension in her chest ease just a little. The night before was fleeting, but the feelings it stirred are enduring stronger than she imagined. Her mind spins with possibilities, yet beneath it all is a simple truth. She cannot deny what her heart wants. Each heartbeat echoes in the room, a steady rhythm that seems to answer Benedict's own quiet presence. Though they have not spoken, the connection between them is undeniable, a silent confession carried in glances, in gestures, in moments shared without words. A soft rustle near the window catches her attention. Benedict steps closer, just enough to be seen from the corner of her eye. He does not speak, and she does not need him to. The space between them is filled with understanding, patience, and unspoken longing. Her hand hovers over the desk, then falls gently to her side. The fear that gripped her heart is slowly replaced by a strange calm, as if the room itself is urging her to accept what has already begun. In this quiet, the weight of expectation from the world outside fades, leaving only the truth they both feel but cannot yet say aloud. Sophie turns slightly, imagining Benedict watching her with the same care she feels for him. Her breath catches as realization hits. Love does not always announce itself with grand declarations. Sometimes it is quiet, persistent, patient, and waiting for courage to meet it. The morning light glows softly across the room, illuminating the folds of silk, the curve of her hand, the faintest hint of a smile. It is in this quiet moment, between hesitation and choice, that Sophie finally understands the morning after is not about regret. It is about recognizing the depth of what exists between them and daring to step into it. The room is bathed in the full glow of morning now. Soft light spilling across the floor and brushing over every object, every shadow. Sophie stands still for a moment, feeling the warmth on her skin and the weight of her decision pressing gently on her heart. The silence between her and Benedict is no longer tense, it is deliberate, filled with understanding and unspoken words that carry more weight than any declaration. She knows that the morning after is not just a fleeting moment, it is a turning point. Her eyes drift toward Benedict, a figure partly in shadow yet unmistakably present. Every subtle movement he makes, the way his hand rests lightly on the back of a chair, the slight shift of his stance speaks of patience, respect, and a quiet hope that mirrors her own. Sophie realizes that love, in its truest form, is not about grand gestures or public acclaim. It is found in these delicate, tender moments when hearts speak without words. Her chest tightens, not with fear, but with anticipation. She has finally embraced the truth she has been avoiding. Her heart belongs here, now, and with him. Slowly, almost instinctively, she steps forward. The gap between them closes, not in urgency, but in certainty. The letter she had hesitated over lies forgotten on the desk. What matters now is the connection, the courage to embrace what she feels and act on it. Benedict's silhouette shifts slightly, a silent acknowledgement of the choice she has made, the shared understanding that some things cannot be forced, only accepted. The morning sun streams fully into the room, washing everything in a golden glow. Shadows merge and soften, as if even the universe approves of this decision. In the final moments, Sophie and Benedict remain poised in this quiet, golden light, hearts aligned yet unspoken, aware that their journey has only just begun. The morning after has transformed from uncertainty into clarity, hesitation into courage, The story does not end here. It is only the beginning of a new chapter, one that promises hope, love, and challenges yet to come. On-screen text or voiceover could close with, "Some mornings change everything." Discover Sophie and Benedict's next chapter only on Netflix Philippines. The camera or the viewer's eye lingers on the sunlit room, the empty letter, and the promise of love that has quietly, irrevocably taken root. Asterisk, the room is quiet now, but it feels alive. Every detail, the soft rumble of silk sheets, the faint sunlight spilling across the floor, the letter lying untouched on the desk tells the story of a night that has reshaped two hearts. Sophie stands near the window, breathing slowly, letting the warmth of the morning seep into her skin and her soul. She feels lighter, freer, but also aware of the weight of the choices ahead. The morning after was never just about yesterday. It was about realizing truth, acknowledging desire, and finding courage where fear once lived. Benedict remains nearby, a shadow and a presence all at once. He does not speak, and he does not need to. Every subtle gesture, the tilt of his head, the quiet stance by the chair, the gentle calm that radiates from him speaks of understanding, patience, and hope. Sophie's heart quickens not with anxiety, but with clarity. She realizes that love is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet, steady, and patient, waiting for the right moment to be recognized and embraced. Sophie finally turns fully toward him, her eyes catching the soft light. For a brief, suspended moment, the world outside ceases to matter. There are no expectations, no judgments, just the truth of what they feel, raw and undeniable. The room glows in golden morning light, shadows softening, merging, as if the universe itself is acknowledging the choice they have both silently made. It is a moment of understanding, of connection, of beginnings. The morning after has become the dawn of something new, something brave, something tender, something theirs. The camera lingers on the sunlit room, the empty chair, the untouched letter, and the promise in their silent presence. On-screen text or voiceover delivers the closing line, "Some mornings change everything." Will Sophie and Benedict follow their hearts? Discover the next chapter only on Netflix Philippines. Soft, uplifting music swells as the scene fades, leaving the viewer with a sense of hope, anticipation, and emotional resonance. The story of the morning after has concluded, but the journey of love, courage, and choice is only beginning.